Welcome to The Flight Deck, a leading edge podcast. I'm Maggie from the Communications Committee.
I'm Michael Wilson.
And in this series, we are sitting down and catching up with some of our MEC committee volunteers. Today, we have the Family Awareness Group led by Captain Colleen Lambert and Captain Blake Ditlow. Thanks for being here, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Welcome to the Flight Deck. Good to see you.
To begin, can you guys tell us about yourselves? What do you do at United? What do you do for the Family Awareness Subcommittee?
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I am an Airbus captain in Newark. I live in New Jersey with my family. I have two little girls and a husband that is a dispatcher for a rival airline of ours. So I'm always secretly kind of rooting for myself to succeed more than him. That's probably terrible, but that's what goes on in our household. And then I became a member of the Family Awareness Group about 3 years ago, and then kind of quickly was voluntold to become the MEC Family Awareness Chair, and I suckered my good friend Blake into this journey with me because I've known him for like 15 years now.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, really long time. So I figured if I was doing it, he had to also.
Yeah, just get pulled right along. 10 years is how long it's been. 10. Yeah.
Long time.
But for myself, hail out of Lidditz, PA. That's where I'm living right now, but Newark 7-3 captain. So I've been here for coming up on 7 years now. But there with my wife and my kiddo. She's turning 3 on Saturday, so that's exciting, October 18th. But similar to Colleen, I got involved with the ALPA stuff. We had one of our mutual friends actually pass, and then that kind of like drew us into doing some ALPA work, and we really enjoyed it then. And I originally started with the mentorship committee, but man, those guys are busy, so busy. So then I was like, okay, maybe that's not my deal. And then Colleen gave me a call and was like, hey, you got to come over here and do this stuff with me. So
Because you're not busy at all right now.
Yeah, no, toddler
not at
life
all.
is a thing. Yeah. So
Well, toddler life, and you've got a whole mess of stuff on your schedule that you guys put out every week.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane how much you guys are really doing for the pilot group.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's a great time.
So tell me about the structure of Family Awareness. You actually fall under SPSC. How does that work? How do y'all work that whole committee out? What do you do over there?
We have a unique experience falling under the SPSC. So in case anyone wasn't aware, Family Awareness started at United Airlines in 1985. And we have a proud tradition of not only maintaining what they built before us, but building more on top of that. And it was started because of the strike in 1985, which is why we fall under the SPSC. Other organizations within ALPA, they have their family awareness under the Communications Committee. And in this case, we're just friends, the Communications and SPSC.
We're cousins.
But cousins, right. We're like distant cousins under the same, like grandfathers. Somehow this family works out. So we're under the SPSC, and we have a brother committee, P2P, that we work very closely with as well. And then we've worked really hard, Blake and I, in the past 2 years to build a very solid structure underneath us. So now every single one of our bases has a base coordinator, and then underneath them, they have some of them up to 12 family awareness volunteers.
Very cool, because you and I both know that there's a famous quote from a legendary master chair for United that says that the contract will be won at the dinner table.
Yes.
100%.
And that's the whole purpose of how you educate pilots and how you bring them along with that information.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
our eye is always on the prize of that next contract. And we can't forget that our loved ones at home are the ones that drive that vote for yes or no. I know during our TA that was turned down, I brought that to my household. And I said, how does this affect our lives? And it was a mutual decision when I went to push my own choice for that one.
You know, UPA 23, and not to get ahead of where we are, one of the interesting things is we did the big Top Golf thing, and that was a big family awareness event.
Sure.
And it was kind of a
off.
rekindling of what family awareness is at United, because I think it had kind of fallen off a little bit. And I turned to my wife, and I'm like, hey, you want to go to Top Golf? You want to go to Top Golf and learn about the contract? Yes.
Interesting. That's great, though.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How, speaking of the Top Golf event, and now that was like kind of the kickoff.
Mm-hmm.
You guys now have so many events all over the country, all over the world. How do y'all decide where, when, what? What's that decision-making process?
Man, yeah, I mean, it's unilateral effort between every single base. Usually our planning really starts, I mean, since Colleen and I have taken over the committee, October of the previous year. So we've actually already met with our committee members through all the bases and set up the plan for all of 2026.
Wow.
So for these events, I mean, it takes 4, 5, 6 months, sometimes maybe even a year to plan some of them. I know that Colleen, when she's been doing the Smithsonian and the event, Smithsonian event in the past, it's taken 8 months?
Yeah.
To plan that event. I mean, there's 20 volunteers. There's, you're renting out the Udvar Hazy. That's such a massive event, right? So these things take forever. And then as far as like what the events are going to be, it's really base specific. And so when we took over, it took so long for us to just get the groundwork laid for getting a base coordinator at every single base, so that now we have somebody that's there that says, okay, our pilots, like I live here, I work here, these pilots want to do these things, right? And so by spreading those events out and like having somebody that's in Denver that knows that they want to go, rock climbing or mountain biking or whatever they want to do.
Denver
right
things.
Now they can take
Denver things.
Right, Denver things. They can start doing Denver things. Guam, they want to have a beach barbecue.
Yeah.
Perfect. How would I know that, right? I'm over in Pennsylvania. Like, I'm in Amish country. I have no idea what they're going to do.
Right.
So having that, set up for the committee and the subcommittee is so huge. So, but it takes months. It takes months, maybe even a year sometimes.
And the other thing I try to do, I'm on the Airbus and I fly a lot of legs with a lot of different people quite often. You get into the same routine of, how was your drive in? Where do you live? Where do you commute from? Yada, yada, yada. I quickly move on to, so what do you like to do for fun? No, tell me exactly. What do you like to do for fun? Do your friends enjoy that too? Does your spouse enjoy that? How much does that cost per person? How far away is it from Newark? How is parking? Tell me everything. And I'm taking notes. And then I use that a lot of the time to then make a family awareness event in their area, wherever that may be.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty awesome. So before we go into, because you were talking about the base coordinators and how you guys put all that together, are you always looking for volunteers? Are you always looking for help? And how do you go about recruiting those people?
Yeah,
In fact, when you're talking to the pilots on this,
Right.
how do they apply? Who do they talk to?
Yeah, we're always looking constantly. And like any base, any fleet, any seat, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where you are. Everybody should be represented, right? We have almost 19,000 pilots now, right? So we need volunteers across the system. We started this 2 years ago, and in 2 years we've hired 4,000 pilots.
Yeah, and now we have 63 family awareness volunteers spread all the way to Guam. We have family awareness volunteers, and the other interesting thing too about family awareness compared to some of the other committees, some of our other MEC committees have a set number of volunteers members that they can have on board. We don't. So I am
Just build it up.
Yeah, come on, join our team. It is a ton of fun. The more the merrier. And again, like if I'm working with someone and I just hit it off with them, I'm like, hey, you want to spend more time together?
Colleen basically like forces people into this role,
I can see
which
how
is
she
a
volunteers
great
people,
thing,
right?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get voluntold a lot with Colleen.
I
which
kind
is
of dig that.
fantastic.
So, well,
Yeah.
let me ask you, because under SPSC, pilot to pilot P2P is under a big recruiting drive.
Yes.
I would argue that the pilots that come to family awareness events are exactly the pilots you're looking for to
I
volunteer for Alpha.
completely agree. And we had a moment where I had to do a little convincing to my P2P brothers because maybe Blake and I scared them off with our really
Just a little
big
bit.
personalities.
Yeah.
But I promised them I think, some of the best volunteers in the entire system. And they took my word for it. So they actually just scooped up about 20 of them in this latest recruitment. And I'm really excited to see where my volunteers go next after that.
It's interesting because I was just looking at, I think it was the LAX air show, and there's several pictures of pilots in there in their red P2P volunteer shirts that were pretty awesome to see.
Yeah, that's been a push recently. I mean, about 4 or 5 months ago, maybe we started this where now every single family awareness event is going to have P2P involved with it, right, alongside it. So that's going to be nice. We're going to be able to take some of that information that we've gathered from the family awareness events back to the MEC, kind of say what the pilot group is feeling, how the communication's going there. So that'll be huge. That'd be really nice.
That's music to my heart. I got to tell you,
yeah.
you know, me and Marty Miller have taught crazy amounts of P2P classes, and you know, I'm an SPSC guy at heart, so I love to hear that kind of information. That's just good stuff.
So you said almost 19,000 pilots at United. We know this number is growing. Stats wise, do you guys have hard and fast numbers? How many pilots have been to an event? How many are showing up? Who?
That's a great question.
So luckily, I crunched these numbers ahead of time. Otherwise, this would have been really tough to figure out. But since that initial Top Golf kickoff that you mentioned, we've had 11,000 attendees. 4,500 of them are pilots at United Airlines.
That's pretty awesome. And you just had a really successful event in Tokyo.
Yes, that was a ton of fun. We really enjoy spending time with our Guam reps while any chance we get. So they actually came to us with an idea and said, you know, we have a lot of members that live there for various reasons. And when we need to go shopping and go to the big city, our big city is Tokyo. So what do you think about trying to organize that? And obviously,
we jumped on it.
Yeah.
Y'all drive down the 1 and 9 to go to some shopping mall. They jump on an airplane to go.
They jumped on an airplane.
I mean, it was amazing when a pilot showed up with all 6 of his kids, or excuse me, 6 out of 7.
Yeah.
Right? There was a newborn that was at home.
Yeah.
So 6 out of 7 of his kids and him show up. And he was like, yeah, just decided to bring them. So it was amazing. Amazing to see that dedication from a
we
dad.
had pilots, to our surprise, show up from 7 of our bases to this Tokyo event, which was really neat. And then we had an entire family commute for fun from Albuquerque.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah. One guy was looking at the ALPA
to
UAL.
Tokyo?
To Tokyo, yes, to Tokyo.
Looking at the ALPA website. He was looking at an R&I seminar when to come. And he was like, well, you know, what's this? Oh, it's a Tokyo event? This looks great. I should go to that. So he literally packed his bags and left.
The
he had 4 days off. Just came over.
Those are recorded though. It's
awesome.
It was great. It was great. But Tokyo was a very unique experience because it was one of the events that we've never done events outside of the bases before, right? Or like the satellite bases we call them, right? Where the focus cities where pilots are based or pilots live, excuse me. But Tokyo was interesting because we got so many pilots that were on layovers, right? That we had never really reached before. And traditionally with the wide body bases, they're commuters, right? So if we have some of these bases that, like Newark is primarily a commuter base, right? So we miss a lot of the pilot group of the 4,000 pilots that are based there. We miss them because they're commuters. They're not going to come in for a family awareness event. And we understand that. We get that. But when we can like reach out to them and grab them when they're actually at work, that is just such a huge, huge thing to do. So that was really interesting from us. Like we had a much more higher density pilot attendee for those groups than we did for family. And that was pretty cool. Yeah.
So we just talked about an international family awareness event.
Sure.
Let's talk about the biggest family awareness event in ALPA history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That also, I guess just like naturally came up. We were having a discussion with all of the Denver reps, so C33 and 93. Blake and I had a Zoom call with them kind of to brainstorm different events. And we were actually bringing up the new hire dinner idea because we thought we'd have to lean on them a lot to show up at first in case people thought Blake and I were crazy for bringing this back. And just naturally, Chris Clay is like, you know, why don't you guys do an Air Force game? And we were like, that's wild. And then we hang up and Blake's like, so we're doing an Air Force game.
Okay. But Air Force football, I was like, these tickets are going to be insane. Like the price is going to be outrageous.
Right.
They were one of the cheapest tickets that we could get. I mean, they're cheaper than a baseball game.
Wow.
So that took off and I got, initially we've got a block of seats, which I mean, we got 200 tickets.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll never forget this series of events, but it started off 200 tickets and then we were so excited we released it, and within 20 hours we were sold out and had a wait list. And then
a wait list of 700 people.
Well, yeah, that grew.
Yes,
that grew
in 20 hours.
Yeah, and so then it was like, okay, then there's emergency phone calls from Tokyo with one of the reps and Drew asking for more money and for to make it even bigger. So then it was okay, get another 350 tickets. So we did that, and I was like, well, we still have 300 people on a wait list, and they're like, get more tickets. I'm like, wow. Okay, I'll blow it out if you want me to blow it out. But so then we went up to 1,000 tickets. So 1,000 attendees last year at the Air Force and Navy game was the largest one that we've had thus far.
And
So-
I'd like to point out, it's not just going to watch the football game. Y'all had a huge tent. You
Oh,
had
for
food.
sure.
You did the tailgating.
Yep.
It was a whole event.
We had a
For sure.
breakfast tailgate ahead of time. We had about 25 volunteers come on their own to help out. We had reps from Denver, reps from other bases. We had P2P volunteers. So we were handing out swag, playing football, having breakfast sandwiches, and some breakfast beverages before the game. And
The master chair at the time is a alumni of the Air Force
Yep.
Academy. You
and
had a
we
bunch
even
of
had
people.
Ambrosi come out all the
President
way.
Alpha.
Yeah.
Yep. And communications, yeah, they all came out.
Pretty
So,
awesome event.
yeah, it was huge.
So these huge events, amazing, groundbreaking, record breaking. Tell us about the smaller ones. How are those also significant for the Family Awareness Group?
Yeah, I love at least in Newark, we always do something in Lehigh Valley, right?
Mhm.
So like we do,
The
we've
Iron
done the
Pigs.
Iron
The
Pigs,
Iron
right?
Pigs.
And the Iron Pigs are so much fun. Like AAA ball is just so fun.
Right.
The kids love it. There's so much more to do.
Mhm.
There's like playgrounds at the ballpark and stuff, so that kind of stuff is always fun. But I mean, even like Boston.
I was because Boston
Phoenix.
has like stolen my heart with their small events. I have gotten to watch like families grow from these small events. I've seen people go from having a girlfriend to now a fiance, and I hear about their wedding plans. So the smaller events, because of their size, you get to know people so much more. And in Boston, we have a clam bake. So I'm over there like cracking lobsters with people, figuring out their wedding plans for them. And it's a ton of fun. And I love the smaller events.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So one of the things I think is really amazing about the family awareness events is this is not just, hey, come out, you're a pilot. I've got this fun thing for you to do. This is actually where you get to learn about what's going on inside of ALPA. And you guys provide information to all of the pilots and their families that come out.
Yep, absolutely. Recently at an air show in New Jersey at McGuire Air Force Base, which that was awesome. Ton of fun. Definitely want to do that again. I would check people in. I'd be like, hey, I'm positive you have a question or a concern. You're going to head right over there and form a line in front of Steve Sherry, and he's going to answer every single one of those questions, comments, or concerns.
Here's your base room.
Yeah,
Right?
on
and
top of
mind
the
you, I
box.
didn't tell him ahead of time. He's like, what's going on? I was like, don't worry about it. But everyone does have something that they want addressed. We had people out on LTD at that event, and they were confused. And he was able to clear up things on the spot for them, give them resources, give them phone numbers to call. We had people filing PDRs about topics from the tent while watching the Blue Angels swoop by or the Thunderbirds. It's great.
That's
So to
awesome.
have that resource right in front of you and to act on it immediately too is
Yeah,
huge.
and now we've got the P2P people at every single event too, right? So they know exactly what they're looking for, what the MEC is looking for as far as communications go from the pilot group and like talking points and stuff. So yeah, it's been a huge plus.
That's really
huge
awesome, and
plus.
especially as we're truly getting ready to kick off. I don't want to steal the negotiating committee's thunder, but they've got a whole bunch of events coming up that are going to kind of coordinate with family awareness events. So if pilots and their families want to talk directly to a negotiator,
Yeah.
this is your chance.
Right. And so that's our intent, is to bring the negotiating committee alongside family awareness events here in the near future. So hopefully for Q1 and Q2 for next year, we can get as many events as possible with the negotiating committee present, and then have them be able to listen and just sit there and be a listening ear for all the pilots as we come up on openers of a contract.
You know, I
2027.
think everybody can appreciate this. You know, sending an email, sending a PDR to a committee and asking a question or telling them a concern is one thing.
Yeah.
Actually having FaceTime and getting to relay what your thought is and having that conversation.
Oh, it's
so
huge.
much more in depth.
Yeah.
So much more incredible. Especially as we get ready to poll pilots and say, hey, what do you want in this next contract? This is where it's going to happen.
You see it every single time, and especially at a family awareness event, you can only hear it so much through text in an email or PDR, right? But you can definitely hear it.
And you have your spouse sitting there with you
Oh,
saying,
yeah.
oh, remember, honey, you were going to ask about that. Or
100%.
like, I have concerns about that. And you can then relay the information directly to them as well, which I
Right.
think is very, very important.
So you do something else
Yeah.
that I
Oh,
love
goodness.
that I don't know that the pilots really appreciate. And we're talking about new hire dinners.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So that is actually owned by the Professional Development Committee, but it's a joint project with you guys. And I would really like to, I wish I could take every pilot in a behind the scenes, just the preparation of what goes through. You were talking about, 6 to 8 months preparation for a family awareness dinner. you go through an entire scripted rehearsal before every new hire dinner. How did you get involved with this, and what information are you telling new hires? What are you telling them?
Blake and I have a lot of things in common. And one of those things is that we both were new student orientation leaders in college.
O-team.
Yeah.
Embry-Riddle. Represent.
Rutgers, new student orientation. And so first, we didn't realize this, but somehow it came out. We're like, oh man, I guess we really like welcoming new people. So I wrote up this crazy proposition and sent it off to our officers at the time. And I was like, hey, what, you want to let Blake and I start new hire dinners? And they were like, well, maybe if, like, with the help of other committees, we'll let you do
They
that.
fully trust us, which is fair. They shouldn't.
So they put me in contact with Margie over at the Professional Development Committee, and then it just like kicked off from there. So we went and visited our friends over at Delta, and we watched one of their new hire days. They have an entire day from like 9 to 5 p.m. And we were able to take some pieces of the puzzle to create what we have here, because our vibe is very different. We start building our schedule for that a year out. So I will be very shortly emailing every single committee, every single MEC volunteer, every single LEC rep, finding out what months they're available, what months they're not available. Then it's this massive puzzle of literally I cut out names and move them around the calendar to try to space out who's coming and when, which is tough because I don't have United's schedule yet. So all of this is if a new hire class happens, when a new hire class happens, then we reach back out to those people and say, hey, remember you told me you were good for February? Here you go. February 10th is the day, or whatever it may be. We've behind the scenes worked on an entire program where we run through history about ALPA, so safety, representation, advocacy. We touch on all those topics. We have the Professional Development Committee, which Margie worked on, discuss pretty much how to survive your first year, how to use the ALPA app, how to use our wonderful ALPA website, which looks so beautiful now, different resources there. We have an LEC rep come, which that changes every single new hire dinner. And then we have some pretty core committees at this point speak. And then we throw in kind of some fun ones along the way too to each dinner.
It's pretty awesome because you involve SOAR in this, because some pilots show up and stuff sometimes just isn't going right. But hey, here's ALPA. We're here to help you.
100%. Colleen and I, when we were developing the new hire dinner, we felt very strongly about two different committees that were always going to be there every single time, and that was Central Air Safety and SOAR. Right. So they have been at every single new hire dinner that we've had, and I mean, obviously, the push for mental health stuff now in aviation is so huge and needs to continue. So we want to push that agenda as much as we can, and then say like safety is number one. Right. That's why we're all here. Right. So those two things will be at every single new hire dinner as far as we can. If we can keep our hands in it, then that's what we would do. Yeah. And then the fun committees always kind of rotate, but Pete Zabel and Past Travel, he does a great job. And I think he came on here and talked to you guys at some point, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
so
we've had him on.
Pete's great.
If you haven't listened to that podcast, the guy tells you all the secrets about Past Travel.
Yeah.
And he'll do that at the new hire dinner too.
He does.
It's great.
Even his son comes and speaks too. Jack.
Yep.
Jack's great. Shout out Jack. So he's wonderful. Yeah, just every single committee that we've had has been wonderful. They've done a fantastic job.
You pointed something out that just makes me smile. When you come to the new hire dinner, the speakers, you really get to see what the lineage is, because there's a lot of pilots in there. And oh, by the way, that's my kid over there. And here's some pilots, and my kid is a volunteer for you guys. That's now a pilot for us. It's pretty amazing stuff that of the people that just is associated with your committee. Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So we're now seeing new hire classes that are
Huge.
bigger and bigger and bigger.
Oh, yeah.
And some of the new hire dinners that I've had the pleasure of attending, it was kind of in a lull period, and there were maybe only a few dozen new hires. Now that we have like more than 100 show up to these things, what's it like? How did you guys scale up?
Blake and I love talking to people, obviously. So we've made some really good contacts in the Denver area. So we have 5 venues that we kind of keep in our back pocket. They're all very aware of our situation and very flexible. And we could be 90% down one road with a venue and have to pivot. Actually, we're doing that
We're
next
doing
week.
that today.
We are
That happened
working on
last
that
night.
today. Happened
So,
last night.
yeah.
So they're all aware, and because we're repeat customers, they've been really good to work with. But this last new hire dinner, we had 150 new hires. And 70,
That's over the course of 2 classes.
That's correct, yeah.
75 family members came, and then about 30 pilots that were there for training. It was huge. It was
awesome.
larger than my wedding, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. So yeah, we had 235 people walk in the door,
A lot,
right?
yeah.
And then our volunteers, so
And
took it
the
to
volunteers.
250.
We stood the whole time because
Yeah.
I
You ran out of
actually,
seats.
we ran out of seats.
And what's the feedback you're getting from these?
Yeah, and like two of the main things that we really push every single time is like ALPA is here for you.
Mhm.
In your first year, in your probationary year, ALPA is here, and they will help you with whatever that you're having a problem with, right? Any family issue, whatever, whether it's training, anything, right? So that's number one. And number two is just call us, like PDR. You have any questions, reach out, right? So the message has been great. A lot of people have responded back. We sent out a feedback form as well, just to kind of get like in touch with what they thought was good, what they, who they wanted to see. Funny enough, when we sent out the stuff in the negotiating committee was one of the ones that they wanted to see,
That's
right? So
It's on
we've
there.
gotten tons of great feedback from the pilots who have been there. And then it's been nice being able to fly with them after the fact,
Yeah,
right? When you see them in the
That's
flight
fun.
deck,
Especially Newark,
6
y'all have
months
so
later.
many
Right.
halflingers.
Right.
They're like,
so
you
that's always
look
fun.
familiar.
Yeah. I was like, did you have a new hire dinner?
Yep,
That was me.
that's it. Yep.
I remember the one I attended after it was over. I was drained. It's
Yeah.
so
Yes.
much work. It's so much. It's just so much.
And after the event, we debrief. So just like
Yeah.
we do at work here, we have a pre-flight where we do an entire practice run. So that's about an hour, and we pick each other apart and try to make it better before the actual event. And then after the event, once everyone is back in their hotel room, we debrief for sometimes up to 2 hours, really picking apart every standing strange somewhere or not
Right.
moving around enough or talking maybe too long to people, whatever it may be, because we want to make this better. We never want this to go away again. So we rip each other apart, but with love.
Yes, with love.
Yeah,
always.
and it's
wrapped in
always-
a nice bow afterwards.
It's a good
Right.
time, oddly, but the night for us ends usually around 11 p.m.
Yeah.
And the
It's
day started.
It's a full day.
Yeah, it's
9
a full day.
a.m. You usually getting together to grab all the supplies for it, right? And then you brief about 1:30, 2 o'clock, depending on what venue we're at. That lasts about an hour and a half, and then you're setting up. Event kicks off at 5:30, and then presentation at 6:30, 7:15. Event finally ends at 8:30 when the questions are all done, when the mixing and mingling afterwards is all settled, and then the debrief. So it's a long day.
One of the things I love about your new hire dinner and the way you go about this is the company has masterfully been very great during NDOC about bringing them into the Kool-Aid of United. Not that that's a bad thing.
No.
You should be happy and excited about where you're coming to work.
Right, of course.
But pretty much day one, ALPA steps in now and says, hey, this is what we have for you, by the way. There's another side, and we're here to take care of you.
Right.
And you guys are taking care of that, and I really love that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But also, it's nice to reach out and like United does a good job of the winging ceremony for the families, right? But we get them first.
Yeah, we
get the
night
family
before.
first, right? So we get to reach out and grab them and welcome them to our family as a union before United gets to welcome them to United.
That is
So
awesome.
that's nice.
I got to tell you, when I was hired, I think NDOC was 2 days, and they didn't bus me anywhere. I think I got a breakfast taco down at the
You're
training center.
lucky.
It was out of an igloo.
You got free
cooler.
coffee, probably.
Maybe got a free coffee from the. Yeah, it was that. Really awesome.
So you said about just quick public math, about a third of United pilots have been to a family awareness event ish. How do we get the other 2/3? How are we kind of reaching out to people as we're kind of inching closer and closer to openers? Maybe that will motivate some people to come to family awareness events, but how do we increase attendance and engagement?
Great question. I think it's something we're always trying to figure out the answer to.
Well,
right?
our back to our family awareness events, we've seen a correlation if we hold a family awareness event either the day before or after a local council meeting, the attendance has gone up as much as 600%.
Wow.
And that was in my own base, our own base of Newark. I saw it firsthand. And then out in Vegas, they kill it if they tie it. They crush it. They had like something, I didn't even know it was possible. One of the stats
they had like 50% of the base
50% of the pilots came to a meeting. I was like, don't you guys have to work? I don't understand.
How's the airline running?
How is this making any sense? But they were there because the day before there was a hockey game and they were off, and the reps did a great job of pushing it on their end. Be like, come show up tomorrow if you're here, and they showed up. So I think if we continue down that path, I'm hopeful that we'll keep increasing attendance at meetings, which then, of course, like leads to more volunteerism, which we need. I mean, we have 19,000 people. We need more volunteers, and that's for every committee, not just, of course, I want them on ours, 100%. But they can go anywhere that they can help.
So let's say they want to come to yours.
Yes.
Who do they call? Who do they write? How do they go about this?
Well, finally we got some, we've been sending our feedback forms out, right? Which has finally gotten some, like, if you do attend, then we get some sort of information as far as like what events you want in the future, which is nice. But now we've also got a PDR drop down for family awareness too, which is awesome. So if you do have any sort of PDR or like any questions or anything, please do that. And then within every single weekly comm, your stuff is out there
at the bottom. The bottom are my emails right there, and like
I get that email from you every Sunday.
Every Sunday, every Sunday. I have a timer that goes off, and I'm like, I got to send my weekly updates now. But Blake and I basically never sleep. We have the energy of our toddlers.
Yep.
And we have toddlers, and they don't sleep. So one of us, we don't share these toddlers together.
Right.
I just
if there's
realized
text messages between the two of us at 2 a.m., it's because of either toddlers or family awareness.
Right. So one of us will get back to you at any time of day or night. Yep. It's usually within 5-10 minutes because one of us is awake.
Yeah, but we love the ideas that come in. Like some of the ideas are fantastic, just incredible. I mean, whether it's Tokyo was probably the most notable. The magician on the beach in Guam was awesome.
Orlando's
that gave me a good
looking
chuckle, but it was
into
huge.
deep sea fishing.
Yep,
which is exciting. Whale watching out in LA.
Yeah.
A lot of boat things now that I think about it. They're really into boats.
What did Nancy have in Dulles? Oh, snow tubing.
Snow tubing.
Snow tubing, that was it, right?
Farm
snow tubing.
festivals.
Yeah. So yeah, there's some great ideas, but anything anybody has, please email us, text us. I mean, all of our contact information's on all of the family awareness emails, and especially the weekly comms.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it's huge.
So this has been enlightening, incredible. I knew y'all's impact, but to quantify it is truly mind-blowing. And so I appreciate y'all coming so much. Any closing words to the pilot group?
Well, I guess I'll get off my soapbox here in a minute, but I really got involved because I felt like with the failed TA, like my voice hadn't been heard. And then I realized it's because I never spoke up for anyone to hear it. And I think it's great now that I'm doing these events that give not only pilots a voice, but their family members and their children or their loved ones or their friends a voice in all of our futures. Because I never want anyone to feel the way I did after that moment. So I stepped up, and I hope other people step up too.
Yeah, I'll get on my soapbox real quick.
So we gave y'all microphones.
I know,
This is the soapbox.
But yeah, like I want to just encourage everybody to come out to any family awareness event, but not only that, just stepping up into any sort of leadership role inside of the union too, because now that I've joined the MEC level of things, I've seen the vast amount of experience that's inside this union, right? And furthermore, it's aging. So we have a pilot group that is becoming very, very young, and we need to learn a lot, and we need to take a lot from the people that are here currently. So I encourage you guys to come out to any family awareness event that may be out there, just simply to get to talking to some of these people and find out what your niche is within the union, right? So for Colleen and I, it seems to be family awareness, right? And for you guys, it's comms. And that's fantastic and absolutely wonderful. But the outreach that we need to continue to grow is bringing in more volunteers, right? And finding out what your specific specialty is and how you can help with the union. So for me, that's really like what I would love to push and would love to see within family awareness. Come out and meet these people that are here.
Really awesome words.
I love that. Thank you all so much for being here.
Sure.
And
Thank you guys.
thank you to our listeners. This has been the Flight Deck, a Leading Edge podcast.
We will see you on the line.